Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome, everyone. It is October 31st. For those of you that are out there getting ready to trick or treat, we wish you a happy Halloween. We want to welcome you to Women Who Really Rock. I'm your host, Carmen Milagro. Women Who Really Rock is designed to showcase women and artists and the people supporting them who are doing incredible work all around the globe. Our show is available on the Divas That Care network, and you'll find us on www.divasthatcare.com. Joining me today on Women Who Really Rock, and believe me when I tell you, this woman literally rocks. Her name is Janie Hendrix. Janie's the president and CEO of Experience Hendrix, Authentic Hendrix, and JMH Productions. These are Seattle-based, family-owned and operated companies dedicated to preserving and protecting the musical legacy of her brother, Jimi Hendrix. Her philanthropic and educational efforts continue through her participation as a board member with the Fender Foundation, which I believe is now the Guitar Center Foundation, the Northwest African American Museum, the National Association of Recording Artists, the YMCA of Greater Seattle, Friends of Jimi Hendrix Park, and the Center Stage Council of the Paramount. She's also served 5 years as a governess on the Board of Governors for the Pacific Northwest chapter of the Recording Academy, and through this organization, she's participated in the Grammy Foundation, a foundation promoting music in public schools. And like so many of Women Who Really Rock, she's also an incredible mother, a nanny, and, well, the best, wonderful best friend on the planet. And I'm so very lucky because I happen to know this firsthand. Janie, thank you for joining us today on Women Who Really Rock.
Thank you so much for having me, Carmi.
I'm excited that you're here, but, and I, on so many different levels. And I know how busy you are, and I can't keep track of where you are all the time, but I'm honored and I'm blessed and humbled that you're able to make some time for us. We're having a little bit of a storm in Winnipeg, so we are very excited to have you here today. I'd love to start with a few personal questions, if you don't mind, but I also want to make sure that we save some time so that you can tell us about some of your latest projects. Let's start with this. Janie, a lot of people don't realize that ever since 1995, yours and Jimmy's dad, plus Experience Hendrix and its affiliates, you've been managing the daily operations of the entire Hendrix legacy on a worldwide basis. Once the responsibility became yours, what's one of the single most gratifying moments that you've experienced in this role?
Well, I think that each moment an opportunity to care for my brother is very gratifying. We once made a promise to take care of each other, so every time I'm able to facilitate the protection of his work or to promote his legacy, it's me keeping my promise. And of course, there are some specific events that stand out, like working to open the Hendrix Park and making the Hendrix Tribute Concert Tour happen each year. That stands out. But the opportunity to carry out our father's dream and preserve my brother's memory for generations to come, well, that's the ultimate gratification.
That's amazing, and it's a huge responsibility. I know that you're the guardian of Jimmy's legacy, and how do you manage all this responsibility and still find the balance that we all need in life?
Well, I don't view what I do through our family companies as work. It's more a labor of love. So
Sure.
Managing my responsibilities and maintaining the other areas of my life in many ways meld together.
Yeah.
I find together amid the beautifully busy, fast-paced lifestyle to embrace each part of the experience and live in the moment. There's a wonderful balance in the continuity.
I see. I mean, and it's that grace and balance that I think also springs from within each person. And I have never witnessed anyone that has that coming from within that it just shines through in everything that you do. That's just a personal observation. Of course, I'm biased because I love you. You're my friend. But I've also seen, I've been able to witness some of these incredible moments, and you've included me in these moments. And so watching and observing, I learned so much from you because there's a lot of pressure that people can't even begin to imagine with what you do, and you yourself are also a treasure and a legacy as far as I'm concerned, and I think a lot of people would agree with that.
Oh, that's so nice of you to say. Well, I do remember dragging you around the country like a little rag doll, and I appreciated you being there because you are a great support, and I want to thank you for that because you've always been there for me.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you're gonna make me cry. but one of those moments that I remember so clearly, we were in Australia. You were doing a radio show, and I think if you don't mind, for those listeners who don't know, can you share with us that promise that you made when you were quite young? Can you describe? I mean, I know every time I hear you talk about it, it makes me emotional because I've never had that kind of bond or brotherly love that you had. Do you mind sharing that intimate moment with our listeners of how you came to make that promise with your brother?
Yeah, sure. So Jimmy first came back home after he had made it in London. Prior to that, he was serving in the 101st Airborne. And so I hadn't seen him, and we sat down, and I call it the cosmic promise because we looked in each other's eyes, and there was a beautiful picture that was captured of that moment where he says, I promise to take care of you. You won't have to worry about anything, your whole life. And I said, well, when I grow up, I promise to take care of you. But as a 7-year-old little girl making that promise, of course, I didn't know at the time what that would mean, what one day that would entail. And nor did I know that I would be doing it in his absence. But I think we both knew that we could trust each other with that kind of a promise. And I do what I do for love. And it's also a way of honoring our father and honoring Jimmy. I consider it a privilege. Not everyone is given the chance to make keeping a promise their life's work, and I feel very blessed to be one of those few.
Right. And you do it with such grace and integrity, and I think he smiles down on you every single day. Sorry. It does really just touch my heart. Every time I hear you talk about it, I thank you for sharing with all of us. I know that sometimes, people have their own perception of people in the music industry or other artists, celebrities and actors and that sort of thing. But there's always, the human side to those personas, those bigger than life rock stars. How would you describe Jimmy, your older brother? Not Jimmy the rock star, but Jimmy, your older brother, the one that you made that promise to. How would you describe him?
Well, really, he was an enigma. He was funny, he was shy, he was gentle, he was kind, he was loving. He adored his family, and he made all those people around him feel special and loved. When he spoke to you, he looked right at you. It didn't matter what was happening. He was just completely devoted to you at that moment and made you feel very special. Jimmy was sincere. He embraced life with childlike enthusiasm. He always gave more than he took, and he lived out his best lyrics. And he filled the vacuum of negative space with positive energy. I really feel that he made the world a better place, and he brought joy to people's lives. In fact, I think his music continues to do that. I mean, how could you not fulfill a promise to a human being like that? He was a warm, bright light, and he was my brother.
Right. And, there's, again, it seems to me that, again, not knowing, you were 7 years old when you made this promise to him. How old was Jimmy when you made that promise to each other?
He was 23.
Right.
23 years old. Just a kid, really. I have kids older
Right.
than I have now.
Right. Right. And it's just, I mean, I think, I believe firmly, that our souls are connected in such ways with certain people. And I think that he knew what he had in you. So, I think that he was a very wise soul. And of course, I never got to meet him, or I wish I had. But I think that there is that special connection between people. And it's not always in siblings, or sometimes it's friendships. But I think that is what transcends and helps to make the world a better place, even when there's dark shadows, all around. If it were possible, and Jimmy walked into the room right now, what's the first thing you would ask him? It's been a while.
What?
So if you were to walk in, what's the first thing that you would ask him?
What's heaven like?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. That is a really great question. I think it's a perfect segue, too, because I wanted to talk to you about the 2019, all the years that you've been doing the Experience Hendrix tour, because for some people, for many people, myself included, to be around that tour and listening to all that music and absorbing the positivity and the meaning of Jimmy's lyrics, that's heavenly to me. And I think there's a lot of people out there that agree. I know your tour ended just recently in Austin. How long have you been working on this tour? And what was it like at the beginning versus where you are now?
Well, it's been 15 years now. We actually first started our official concert in 1995 at Bumbershoot. It was their 25th year anniversary, and the city was actually trying to shut the festival down because they weren't really bringing in income. And then on that particular year, they started charging for entry, and it was also the 25th year of Jimmy's Sunset. So it just seemed like a good time and a good partner to have the first concert. And we actually had Mitch Mitchell, Jimmy's experienced drummer, and Buddy Miles, who was his Band of Gypsies drummer, and Billy Cox, and also Noel Redding. They were all there to perform. And Narda Michael Walden, one of your locals, he was our music director. And we had a lot of other artists that participated, and it was a great concert. So that's how we started it. And then in 2004, we started an official tour. We only hit 3 cities, really, or states, which was Seattle, and then Portland, and then San Francisco. And Carlos Santana graced us by being a guest musician at that show. So that was fun. And then after that, it just took off, and we started going across the country, and we usually do one every year. Last year we didn't do one, but this year we did 2. And next year we're looking at Europe. So it's growing, and people are excited about it. So
Well, I had heard a little. I heard a little bird had told me about your Europe plans, so I'm going to have to try to figure out what those dates are.
Well, it will be in October, so that's when we're looking at going. And not to give too much away, but it is the 50th anniversary of Jimmy's departure from us. So we want to give a very special tribute to him. And so we have engaged a few more performers, and we'll bring it to some surprise audiences. And we're going to amp up the repertoire and add some more visual effects. And, well, I think it'll be fun. It'll be fun going to Europe. I mean, that is where Jimmy launched his career. So.
Right. Oh my gosh, that's exciting. You and I both know people come back time and time again to the show. I mean, you have a lot of regular, repeat, concert goers that keep track of when the concert, when the show is coming through their town. But the musicians keep coming back. Why do you think that they love doing your tour so much?
Jimmy. I mean, they keep coming back for Jimmy, his music and his legacy. It's all unmatched. It's an amazing thing to be able to play the iconic songs and feel the power of an incredible performer come alive on stage nearly 50 years after he left us. The energy is electric. The concert halls and audiences are charged and filled with excitement. It's really euphoric. And Jimi generates all of that. Musicians and performers who have been impacted by Jimi's love for him and his music, and they want to be a part of it. They want to be a part of the tour because it represents Jimi. And we're thrilled to have them. And then also we get to create the Electric Church, which is something that Jimi came up with. And it's really about awakening people's minds and hearts and spirits with his music. It just gets into your whole being. And so when the music goes out into the audience, then the audience with their energy, with their clapping and cheering and singing along and dancing in the aisles, they bring that energy back on stage, and it just keeps giving and taking and giving and taking until it just creates this amazing experience that everyone is involved in. I mean, when the audience is like giving back to the artist, it wants them to give even more. I mean, that's what love is about, really. You know, the more you give, then the more you get.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've witnessed that. I'm so lucky to have witnessed that on several occasions. So thank you for that gift too. We're going to start to wrap this up a little bit, but before we do that, I would love for you to share what other projects you've got. I know you have an update for us on the Jimi Hendrix Park in Seattle, and you've got some other projects going on. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we've actually finished the park in Seattle. It sits right in front of the Northwest African American Museum, just a couple miles south of where Jimi went to high school, definitely his stomping grounds. And the park is complete, so you can find it at JimiHendrixParkFoundation.org. And you can see the completion, although I'm not sure if all the pictures are up yet. But definitely if you come to Seattle, do come by because it's an amazing park. You know, if you're looking at it from, I don't know, a couple thousand feet in the air, basically you see a guitar-shaped park where the head of the guitar is like a platform, has a signature in the front. It's got like 6 stools that represent the tuning knobs of the guitar. Mm-hmm. And then the frets along the walkway basically tell the journey of his life from his birth until his passing, highlights of his life. And then at the round base of the guitar, it's shaped like a flower, which represents motifs from his clothing, but in that round area, it's also an amphitheater. There's a little wing structure which acts as a shelter over a stage, and then when it rains, and it does rain a lot in Seattle, the waterfall
you don't
falls
say.
from the back. Yeah, and then there's a lot of seating around the amphitheater as well in the grassy area, and we have a couple rain gardens. We have a butterfly garden. And then we have the crown jewel, which has just been completed, and that's the shadow wave wall, which has Jimi's head in the middle at 40 feet in the air. It's about 100 feet long, and it has it's called Shadow because it's got his silhouettes in both sides of the structure. So it's beautiful, and it's all done and ready to be enjoyed by people.
I can't wait to see it. I got to see it a couple of times during the building stage, so this is like a fan's paradise. Yeah,
I mean, I think that, really Jimi called himself the West Coast Seattle Boy, and it is the West Coast Seattle Boy's honor, and people love him, and it's fun to see field trips there and kids playing and dogs being walked and concerts going on, and people are having their family gatherings there. There have been weddings there. And it's just really nice that Seattle was willing and able to be able to honor Jimi in this way through Parks Department.
That's amazing. That's incredible. And can you tell us a couple of other projects that fans would like to know about?
Well, all the projects that we work on are very exciting, and I know that the fans will really appreciate them. So we have a box set coming out. It's called Songs for Groovy Children. It's Band of Gypsies box set, which encompasses all 4 shows from December 31st, 69 to January 1st, 1970, where really we change into another decade. Also, the Jimi Hendrix Experience Electric Ladyland Deluxe box set, which is the 50th anniversary for that. And we also have a limited edition Fender Strat guitar that's coming out, and a Raymond Weir watch, which I think is a beautiful timepiece, and Mont Blanc pen will be coming out as well. They're all beautiful tributes to Jimmy, and I think they reflect his unique style. We're really excited about it. So we have quite a bit of things in the works. We have other documentaries coming out. But, we'll keep some of those things under wraps so we can really show people. I recently went to London because we screened the Royal Albert Hall, which was a really unique project where 4 cameramen followed Jimmy and the experience around for a month. So it's reality TV as we know it today, but it was filmed 50 years ago, and we had the pleasure of showing it at the Royal Albert Hall where the concert was filmed, and it was sold out within a week, and the audience loved it. And so we're hoping to bring that film across America and other countries through the big screen. So that's the project that we're working on as well.
Oh, my gosh. Well, now I know I can never keep track of where you are or what you're doing. I could talk to you about forever, of course, but I do have to close out the show. Is there a way that people can look at all, find all these projects and all these upcoming concerts and shows and releases? Is there a place for them to go to?
Yeah, so our website is jimihendrix.com, really easy. And then they can also sign up to get emails, and we do not bombard people with emails. But, like when new releases are coming out, they'll be the first ones to hear when a tour is getting ready to start so that they can get their tickets early. And also we have Authentic Hendrix, which is the merchandise company, and that also can be found on the Experience Hendrix site as well.
Thank you so much. I hate to say goodbye to you, but I do have to get to the next show. Thank you, Janie.
Thank you so much.
You
it was an
really,
honor and a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. I can't tell you how much this means to me. I mean, you just rock on so many levels. You're a remarkable woman, Janie, and I think I just aspire to be more like you. As time goes on, I learn more and more from you, and I appreciate you so much, and I'm so grateful to have you in my life, and really grateful to have you on my show.
Well, thank you. Well, I've learned a lot from you as well, Carmi. You're a sweet soul, and I really feel that we are cosmic sisters. So God bless you, and I love you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Miss Janie Hendrix, everyone. And thank you all for tuning in to our Women Who Really Rock podcast. We hope we're able to uplift and inspire you and educate you, as well as showcase women and people who are doing such amazing works of love and music and bringing people together versus trying to divide them. I want to wish you a happy Halloween, and until next time, I hope you're all really rocking it too. Remember, you can find us here on the Divas That Care Network, and that website is www.divasthatcare.com. Goodbye, everyone. Have a wonderful holiday, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.